chat saying muted.
Yeah, okay. That's something I can fix really easily. So I'm just gonna do that right now. And we should be unmuted now. So sorry about that, guys. We're live for a little bit of a pre-show. I know it's a couple minutes late. We were dealing with some technical difficulties. Well, we have someone named Gataron in the chat. Is that actually like someone from Gataron? That'd be kind of interesting.
I don't know. I think it's a troll. I know they watch me.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah.
You just assume everyone that watches you is a troll.
No, I mean, with a name like Gataron, there's no way.
Yeah. I love it. So yeah, we're just doing a quick pre-show, guys, to make sure everything's rolling all right and let a few people roll in here. Then we will officially start, like always. Nathan himself is a troll, says Obsidian Raid.
That's toxic.
Sabumon says, you look beautiful tonight, Taeha. Damn.
Sabumon's also lying. He's very toxic to me.
Damn. I thought your viewers were like wholesome, man. You're making them out to seem like all trolls.
We're the opposite of you guys. There's a bunch of trolls and toxic. You guys are the wholesome channel.
I don't know about that.
People are mean to me.
People are mean to you. That's not cool.
Yeah.
you guys shouldn't be mean to Nathan. He's very wholesome.
Get bullied every day.
Every day. Jesus Christ. That's pretty hardcore.
Oh wait, someone pinged me. Oh.
Shout out to Grinzeppo and Daft Prophet for the subs. Thank you very much, guys. As well as Olivia, who subbed earlier before we went live. Thank you. Very, very kind of you guys. Chortle my Squirtle. What a username.
Yeah, that's the first thing I said about him too.
Oh, is it?
It's a great name. It's like it is easily.
It is pretty good. Oh, we've been getting a really good one lately in our streams. Bearded Nut Incorporated.
Bearded Nut.
Bearded Nut Incorporated. It's without a doubt one of my favorite usernames I've seen so far.
Why are people talking about your mom? Is this a new Top Clack inside joke?
My mom has been dead since 2011, and her ashes are spread across the ocean. So I don't know if people want to talk about my mom. That's fine. That's fine as well. I guess.
Oh, that took a turn real quick.
I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not offended or anything. I don't get offended by this kind of stuff. So if you want to talk about my mom, you guys are more than welcome. She was she was quite something.
Oh man.
Rest in Pepe hands is proper. You are absolutely. But that is not the topic of the show today. Of course, we're here for some
wholesome stream.
We are here for the wholesomeness. We are here for such a professionalist stream. Technic says Mama Quakums was a saint. She was not. She had a lot of issues. She died of cervical cancer. She was an alcoholic. She was not in very good health overall, and she kind of did it to herself, and it's unfortunate, but you gotta treat your body with some level of respect, otherwise you might die young. All right. Now with that out of the way, we can let's go ahead and officially start the stream here, so I don't seem too silly about this topic.
Yeah, I agree with Cypher Sage. We need to give Quake a hug.
I'm rolling an intro right now. They can't hear it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, no. They can hear us because I forgot to mute it. Haha. That's just hilarious. All right, guys. So sorry for all the janky stuff that's going on at the intro of this, but as you can see here, this is the very first episode of Top Clack's Behind the Keyboard. We've been wanting to bring back guest segments and interviews to the series for a while now. It has without a doubt been the most requested thing from our viewers. So very, very happy that we're able to do that again today. And for the pilot episode, check out the guest we have today. We have everyone's favorite keyboard streamer, quite literally the face of the keyboard community, Mr. Taeha types himself. How are you doing today, sir?
Good, wow. On the pilot episode, some people are saying you're clipping or that stream's too loud.
I'm clipped? Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is why we live stream. All right. I'm gonna turn us both down. I'm gonna turn myself down a little bit. Sorry if I'm a little too loud there, guys. Let me know how that goes. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Okay.
It is an honor though to be on the pilot episode.
Well,
Although technically, well, never mind. We won't go into that.
Yes. I mean, for those of you that are unfamiliar, Clack has done interviews in the past, but we wanted to try to branch out a little bit, try to make interviews, instead of being part of a news show, be something totally separate on their own, because a lot of our guests are very busy. They don't always have a ton of time to spare, so we wanted to try to make it a little bit more concise. And that way it can just be a little bit more informative, more educational, a little bit more wholesome without rambling too much. With that said, of course, you guys know I love to ramble, and I always will. And that's just.
Are you drinking anything tonight?
It's water, just water.
Wow,
I don't really drink anymore.
What happened?
My doctor was like, "You should give up drinking so much," and I was like, "All right."
Oh man.
So I mean, I still have a drink here and there, but I was admittedly I was relying on it to kind of like get to sleep and for like things like back pain and stuff, and it was just becoming not a healthy thing. So several months ago, I think it was like August, so I pretty much gave it up entirely, and since then I'm down like 50 pounds too. So I've gotten quite a bit healthier since. So pretty happy about that.
It's great to hear.
But anyways, enough about me. This is not supposed to be about me. This is supposed to be.
I will take over the pilot episode. That's not.
Wow, how Taeha types of you. That's fantastic.
I am interviewing you today, Brian.
What a twist.
You've been interviewing people for the past 2 years. Now it's time you get interviewed.
Oh my gosh, I've been interviewed once or twice before. It's been a few times.
That's true. Yeah.
It's not very interesting. I'm not a very interesting person, and you are. So we'd lose all the viewers if we interviewed me. So we'll go ahead and take a pass on that. But let's get back to the topic at hand. We have you here. You're a very busy man, so I'm trying to take up too much of your time. And I know you just got off a multi-hour stream just a couple hours ago, so I don't want to put you through too much of the ringer here. But let's just start off from the beginning. I want to know what kind of got you into the hobby, what got you into keyboards, and kind of what made you want to take the turn to doing keyboard content, such as streaming and YouTube.
I first bought my first nice mechanical keyboard in 2015 when I was building. No, not 2000. Yeah, 2015 when I was building my first nice high-end custom PC, and I wanted, like everyone else, I wanted the best keyboard you could purchase at the time, whatever that means.
Sure.
And I had a friend who recommended Toper to me, as Toper was kind of like an elite thing for him. So I was like, okay, I'll just try this out. And I found the mechanical keyboard subreddit, and it went downhill from there. I didn't get serious into the hobby though until 2017, and I started uploading videos 2018. Not with the intent to become a content creator. I had purchased my current Sony camera at the time in 2018, and I just wanted to figure out how videography works, and I thought might as well record myself typing for a little bit and play around with the color grading and editing and see how it turns out. So yeah, I just kind of started uploading for fun, and I guess people caught interest in that, and it led me to where I am today.
Nice. So you actually weren't like right into keyboards right from the get-go. You were always more about audio, video kind of stuff for a while, right? So keyboards are actually relatively new to your hobby list.
Yeah, I've been a photographer for the past 7 or 8 years now, and then keyboard's definitely one of the more recent hobbies that I've picked up.
Yeah, nice. So it's not a surprise to a lot of people here that are in the know that you actually do this full-time now. You are a full-time keyboard content creator, and that is something that I think is a title for you and you alone right now. I don't believe anyone else is really doing the kind of thing that you are. So, like, how has your life and let's say your involvement in the community overall, how has that changed since you've made that transition to full-time? Because that seemed to kind of happen really quickly. You started putting out videos in 2018. You started getting really popular really quickly, and I think it was it 2019 that you went full-time, right? It wasn't actually this year.
Yeah, last September, I went full-time.
Yeah, so within a year, you kind of went from, just getting into keyboard content creating to now this is your livelihood, and, this is your everyday life now.
Yeah, well, I mean, almost 2 years. I started January 2018, and then September 2019, so a little under 2 years. Involvement in the community, it's weird. I feel like I am both more involved and also not as involved anymore at the same time. Just because there's so much things that go on outside of like what's shown on stream and in my YouTube videos. that just eats up a lot of my time. I don't get to just like browse Geekhack for fun whenever I want now. Like I have to set apart time to like see what the latest projects are, like what's the news. I don't get to deal a lot with some of the smaller projects that might be going on. So I guess in that sense, I do feel like I've kind of somewhat grown distant in a sense, but at the same time, I am also like interacting with a lot of the members in the community. So I guess it's grown in that sense.
Yeah. So like it can kind of hard to be an enthusiast and a full-time content creator at the same time because there is a lot of people don't realize how much time goes into things like video editing, like setting up like audio video stuff in general, and just how taxing it can be mentally just to be on stream every single day. And that's something that you've been doing a lot lately.
It's not more so that I've lost like the enthusiast passion. I don't think I'm there yet. I don't feel burnt out at all. I don't think that like I have less interest in keyboards now that this is my job. But I just feel like I think because I've grown so much, there are just some things that like I can't do just like willy-nilly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, as you were kind of making this journey to be a full-time content creator, what do you think were some of the things that led you to actually be so successful in this right so quickly?
Successful?
Well, I mean, compared to the rest of the keyboard content creators, you are it. You know, it's you. Like, you are it. You are the real deal. So, you know, for our community, this is big. You have been pioneering our community since you've started doing all this keyboard content stuff, and like you've taken it to a place that we couldn't have gotten to like if we didn't have someone like you doing this. So I mean, I think we're all kind of appreciative for that because pretty much everyone has seen explosive growth, regardless of what area in the community that you're in. So I think it's proper to call you successful in this right now.
I think it's a mix of two things. One, I think my content has always been, well, okay, I didn't start making videos with the intent to cater to outside people, but I think my content nowadays has kind of naturally evolved to cater to the newcomers. But I think that is one thing that I do different maybe from other content creators like you guys and other build streamers. Like I'm very open to newcomers. I interact quite a bit with viewers outside of my own stream. So I think that's something different. Like I don't even really interact with RMK anymore. I used to post all my videos, all my pictures on this mechanical keyboard subreddit. I don't really anymore. I think my job kind of nowadays has shifted towards just how much new people can I bring in to get more people interested and more customers in. But I think it's also been a bit of luck. I've been lucky in the sense that I've had other bigger streamers, other successful people noticing me and noticing mechanical keyboards, and through them, I've been kind of able to get exposure through them. Yeah, so I guess a mix of luck and a mix of doing something different. Like, yeah, because I feel like currently all the current build streamers and even like news-oriented content creators like you guys or Mechs on Deck, like it's really hard to find Top Clack or Mechs on Deck unless you're already into keyboards. Like no one goes onto Twitch to search up, oh, what news segments are going on.
yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, like if you watch Top Clack or Mechs on Deck or like in Key Rated, all those like informational channels, you already have to be in the community to know about you guys.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. So on that same topic of kind of doing that, so recently, I'm sure as some of you have maybe seen on RMK or otherwise, The Verge, who is obviously a popular tech publication, has recently called Taeha Types the Bob Ross of mechanical keyboards, and that is really interesting to me. And for those of you that may not be initiated with who Bob Ross is effectively, well, he was, I suppose. I think he's dead now, right? He was a televised painter on TV, often on like late night TV. That would he was super nice, super wholesome, super calm and collected, and he would just very professionally and artistically paint pictures, you know, on a canvas or whatever. and he would kind of just gently and lightly interact with the viewers and such, and he did a really good job of it. And I feel like at the time he was kind of underappreciated, but later
all
on,
his fame has been like posthumous.
yeah, exactly. Like, so he's kind of become this like super wholesome meme, if you will,
Yeah.
throughout not just in the keyboard or anywhere else, but like just throughout internet history now. And it's kind of interesting to see something like that. But like, how do you feel about The Verge calling you the Bob Ross of keyboards?
I mean, if that's true, I guess my fame comes posthumously as well. No,
Well, I mean, you're doing all right now. Maybe it's going to be way better in 20 years. You know.
I mean, I do take that. I'm very thankful that someone would say that about me, but I also feel like that does a disservice to Bob Ross. I feel like it's unfair to compare Bob Ross to a pleb like me. I am nowhere near the status that Bob Ross has, but I'm thankful. I mean, that post got to the top post of Reddit yesterday, or the subreddit. I commented I just left a comment, "My goodness," and it's become like my most upvoted comment.
That's awesome. What's actually kind of funny is I saw the post not on RMK, but just browsing all. So I browse all.
It was on all.
I browse all most days for like at least like 20, 30, 40 minutes or something. And I actually saw, it wasn't super high up, but it was like relatively high up, down a few pages. And I thought that was kind of interesting because usually you don't see RMK posts if you browse all very high up. They're usually pretty deep down there. So
yeah,
obviously people were pretty happy about the comparison between you and Bob Ross, and it was interesting. After I saw it, I started. Of course, it's a joke. I kind of chuckled at first. Then I thought to myself, like, it's kind of true too, because you have a very similar kind of calm and like relaxing demeanor. You always play like really nice, chill audio on your streams. You have super high production quality. And it's kind of chill. Like, people just come there and they show up and they just hang out and they can kind of just do whatever they want. It's not a very, super tight-knit, high-end, like, super-duper thing that is, like, really secretive or anything. Like, you just come and you hang out and you watch a dude, very well build a keyboard, and it's a good time. In that sense, it makes sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm very thankful people enjoyed it, but I also feel uncomfortable at the same time.
That's fair.
I feel like it's a dishonor to the people I'm getting compared to. So
that's fair. But if you do feel uncomfortable, that means you're probably just moving forward into an area you're not familiar with, and I think that's okay as well, because
hopefully, yeah.
So, anyways, let's talk about the keyboards you built too. So now you've built you've built some keyboards for some of the world's most popular game streamers. Actually, it's like Tfue, Dizzy, and a handful of other people, as well as non-gamers as well. Do you feel like any kind of extra pressure or anxiety building boards for these kind of big name people, or is it kind of just more of the same? Kind of just doesn't matter who you're building for. I've always been curious.
Building Tfue's was the most anxiety I've ever had for a build.
Really?
Yeah. Partly because he kind of didn't know himself what he likes. I mean, that's normal. That's to be expected. So, I mean, we kind of designed something that we thought he would like. And then, like, we were just all wondering, oh, is he going to like this? Is he going to hate it? Like, that man could literally have destroyed Key Cult in my career if he ended up not liking it. And he put out a tweet saying, like, oh, I paid X amount of money for this. This sucks. This is a scam. we could have been destroyed overnight. But thankfully he liked it. Yeah, I think that stress of just working with someone so high profile with that large of a following, that was a stressful part for me. I'm sure Key Cult would have had a bigger stress to deal with. Like, they're the ones who actually did the designing and manufacturing of it. I'm just making videos, but like, they have a legitimate business that could have potentially been destroyed. So yeah, we were both pretty stressed about it. But now that that's done and over, I don't want to be like too confident, but I do feel like other than Tfue, there aren't many other bigger gamers. And what else do we do from there? Like, do we move on to actual mainstream celebrities? And I think that presents us with even bigger challenges. I've had a lot of somewhat high-profile clients asking for Bluetooth. That's something that like we still haven't figured out. They just like wireless. I've also had, I can't name yet, but some people ask me to have gems on their keyboard. and I'm like, what?
Gems.
I don't deal with jewels. Okay, how do I figure this out? Like, I've had some interesting requests. I've had someone, yeah, it's been weird. So I think that's the next stress thing for me. Like, how do we move outside of the materials that we work with? Because like for like actors and actual celebrities, they had like all their stuff is like inlaid with like diamonds and whatever like precious metals you can find. So I think maybe that's the next step that we have to overcome and like be stressed about. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe the community doesn't have to be stressed about, but that's something like that's on my mind lately.
Is that the kind of direction that you kind of want Taeha types to pursue? Is that like where you see the future of your content studio?
I don't know yet. I mean, this year I was supposed to pump out YouTube videos. That clearly hasn't happened yet. Like, I think my primary focus this year still is to make a bunch of tutorials and guides that the community has been asking for a lot. I mean, I still want to keep my build services open. I still want to take on commissions, but like the more that I've been dealing with it, the more I'm realizing it's not something I want to invest into fully yet. Like, there are already people who do that very well. There's Keycult, um, other designers and full-time keyboard folks who do it well. So I think it's better to just leave that to them and focus on what I know better for now, which is video production and whatnot. So for now, I'll still take on the big name clients if possible, but yeah, I
Yeah.
don't see it being what I go towards anytime soon.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think it's always a safe play to stick with what you're comfortable at. And you touched a little bit on, let's say, the influence of Tfue as well. I'm kind of curious though, as this particular community's most powerful influencer, I feel like you probably are. Are you ever worried that you might influence something in the wrong way, maybe? And let's say, I don't know, you wind up taking down a smaller business or content creation studio because of something that you said. Just similar in the same way that Tfue could wreck, you were Keycult, like you mentioned, just by like something like that. But you are this community's Tfue, so it's like, are you ever worried about some of the things that you say or do could negatively affect the rest of the community?
I am. I definitely am, and it's on my mind constantly every stream. I mean, I get tons of questions about random things. It's definitely on my mind, and I mean, I'll admit I have definitely said some stuff that I shouldn't have said, or like played things off in a bad way, or
Well, we all make mistakes, sure.
spoke too soon. I know, but like for me lately, like that has a larger effect than it used to.
I hate to potentially, cook up drama, but
Uh huh.
can you tell us something that you might have said that you thought was a bad idea?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You don't have to. I'm just
No, I'm trying to think.
I'm just curious what an example might be of something that
Yeah.
you as a person regret saying.
I kind of played off keycap design once on stream as like, I mean, it's just like picking three colors and whatnot. And
As
like
yeah, as a lot of
like
other designers have in the past.
yeah, I mean, a lot of people do throw that statement around, but like I didn't realize how big of an effect it could have with the tone that I said it, even though that's not like what I really meant. Well, like I was just kind of rambling off the top of my head, just knowing that like there's that many people viewing it, and then they hear what I say, it could have an impact on others. Yeah, I guess that's just one instance. Thankfully, I've had like great friends in the community who kind of like spoke to me in a nice way about it and saying maybe you should think a little bit more before you speak. So yeah, that's just one instance. I can I check my name in discords. I also see people
So do
getting
I. So do
I
I.
also see people getting really mad when I like endorse something and then it sells out and they're like, oh, okay, I hate Nathan. It's all sold out. So I don't know. It's been a weird situation. I also got asked this question at the Seattle meetup, which I didn't get to see you at.
Uh,
But yeah, like they asked like, do you take things with more caution now that you influence people? And yeah, I've been trying to think about it a lot since then, but I still don't have a clear answer. It's also interesting because there's been a lot of newcomers also come in and ask about like clones or fakes. and like what should we as content creators do? So I've been thinking about that as well. But yeah, but it was interesting because I don't know if you watch MKBHD, but he recently put out a couple videos on essentially a clone phone. It's called the Escobar phone. It's essentially they just take the exact same phones of like Samsung's and other companies, you just rebrand it, reskin it. And his ultimate talking point of the video was that like you shouldn't support this company and that you'll most likely get scammed. But like him making that video is enough publicity for them. So I don't know. It's like things I never thought I'd have to think about, and it's new to me. So definitely.
Yeah, I feel like that's not only is that like completely true, it's like extra true. I feel like in the keyboard community in general, because the keyboard community, while a lot of people think it's like been going on for a long time, it really hasn't. And honestly, we are kind of still towards like the ground zero of keyboards, and we're kind of just figuring things out as we go. I often make the comment on our Top Talk episodes where I talk about things like how we still haven't really figured out GMK base kitting. Almost every base kit has like, a different base kit than any other set, so it's like you could tell that like nobody really knows like 100% certain what needs to be done in the community at any given time. And I feel like as content creators, we kind of struggle with that as well, because we don't always know exactly what we should be doing, but like you don't really know what you need to think about until you get there. And then it's like, wait a minute, I never had to think about this, and nobody ever thought about this or brought this up before, and now we're like, what the heck do we do? So
yeah, that is also interesting. Why don't we have like a set standard base kit?
yeah.
Why do we have to go on interest checks and
yeah, and of course, you know, everyone.
Oh, you're missing this. You're missing that. Can we have compat for this?
Yeah, and everyone probably thinks they know like the best GMK base kit setup, but then lo and behold, every single one of them is different. So it's like I feel like as a community, like in total, we haven't really come to an agreement on the way a lot of things should be handled. Things like you know, flipping and stuff like that, and just some of the outlooks that we have and opinions that we have in the community. So, you know, I feel like we're all kind of struggling in this community in that sense, but thankfully this community does tend to be pretty kind and pretty wholesome and pretty helpful. So I think well, yeah, you're all trolls. My bad, you're all trolls. You heard it here first. Yes.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, anyways, I have noticed that you do stream a lot more than you used to, obviously. Being full-time, that is something to be expected. But what I was actually kind of surprised to see is you're actually taking, not necessarily a back seat to keyboards, but you are doing a lot more variety streaming, is what I've been calling it. You stream games and potentially other things that aren't necessarily just keyboard build streams, which is kind of what you're known for. So have you noticed kind of a change in your channel or your viewers now that you've been doing a little bit more variety streaming? Has it affected your involvement in the community or the way you kind of go about Twitch?
I don't think it's affected the keyboard community per se, but it's affected me personally as a content creator. But I mean, there's a couple reasons why I started doing the variety streaming. Sorry. The first one being, I just don't want to build multiple keyboards on stream. I potentially could do like a 5-6 hour stream where I build 2 or 3 keyboards. I just don't want to. That's the first reason. The second reason being Twitch is a platform that's still mostly dominated by gaming and other I want to say, I don't want to say non-educational content, but it's just entertainment. And I feel like because of that, I feel like if I like my thought process was if I stream myself gaming and I have a keyboard cam, it'll draw people's eyes because I'm using keyboards that normally aren't seen by other streamers, and that way I can start a conversation with these newcomers. So it was another way of bringing new people in. I'm not sure how successful that is, but I definitely do know some people just watch my gaming content and not my keyboard content. My gaming content, it definitely plummets. I think my viewers get like Thanos snapped by like half whenever I start gaming or doing anything non-keyboard related. But I mean, it's another avenue to talk to new people and get them to get into the hobby.
Yeah.
And then the third one being, I just wanted to start gaming again.
Yeah, I totally feel you. I remember at one point in your life when you were trying to go through attempt the full time, is you pretty much dropped things like gaming completely out of your life, right? And you spent
Yeah,
like 100% of your spare attention on just going full time as a content creator and keyboards. And
yeah.
I think that was probably the right decision. But it's nice to have you be able to play games and get back into something that you actually enjoy doing.
And I guess another reason I didn't mention, also to network. Like I interact quite a bit with other streamers. I can't talk about much with them other than games.
Yeah,
Like they don't care about the keyboard content that I produce. Like yeah, my previous clients, some of them are Twitch streamers and they have a keyboard, but outside of that project, they're like, okay, I couldn't care anymore, any less about other keyboards. So like gaming is another way that I could connect with other streamers and network with, have something that I could collab with other streamers on, for example, as well.
yeah,
So yeah.
that makes sense.
Mhm.
So, with that in mind, sorry, I'm trying to find my place here. So like now that you do all of this, and you've been in the community for a while now, and you've been full time for a little while now. What are some of the things that have kind of changed for better and for worse throughout the community since you've been a part of it?
Ooh, for better and for worse.
And for worse, I gotta give you some tough ones too.
For better, I am very happy, as Man of Interest quoted, with this post MOQ era. Um,
So would you
I
say
think
we are in that era right now, or we're just approaching it?
we're not entirely there. Mike was on my stream today actually, and we talked about some sets that didn't hit MOQ recently. So just because you go with a vendor, you're not guaranteed 100% MOQ. But for the most part, we're starting to see, like, people can kind of tell already, like, whether a set's going to hit MOQ or not, whether it's going to get made or not. And especially if you're picked up by like one of the current top vendors, like, you're pretty much set. So I think that's very great to see. And like, speaking from personal experience, when I ran Mr. Sleeves, it only hit MOQ because Mike was willing to buy up so many extras. I talked about it on stream too. Like GMK Olivia round 1 didn't even break MOQ. Like,
Yeah.
we ran those sets at the wrong time.
It's
and then
weird, yeah.
Olivia plus plus, it did so well. Like, we're in this. There's just so much potential customers that we have nowadays that if you have a great enough idea and you work with a vendor who's competent, you'll get a product made. And everyone who joins it has relatively low risk joining in the group as well. So I think that's one of the great things that we're seeing. But I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Like you guys mentioned in your COVID-19 stream, will this recent event like cause people to not spend less? Who knows? We'll see.
Oh, you watched that stream? Oh my gosh.
I watched the VOD. Yeah.
What a guy! What a guy!
I gotta keep up with other content creators.
Yeah,
Come on.
that's pretty funny. Ironically enough, Nathan was actually supposed to be on that stream, but he couldn't get the time slot, unfortunately. But that's kind of funny.
Another nice thing. What other nice thing?
Or not nice. I want to hear some of your negative thoughts as
I'm
well.
trying to do the nice stuff first and then get to the not nice.
I usually like to do it the other way around, so it feels
Okay,
a little
fine.
bit more like a shit sandwich versus.
Maybe I'll alternate, give you guys the shit sandwich.
I like it. I like it.
One negative that I found as of late, probably the elitism in the community. Once again, I search my name. I see what people see about me. There's a lot of people who don't like my streams anymore, just because it's just filled with a lot of newcomers. I get asked the same basic newcomer questions all the time, and I probably spend like at least a quarter of my stream answering basic questions that like veterans don't want to hear anymore.
Yeah.
But I think that also tends to lead to a bit of elitism, especially in like Discord conversations. Like, if you've been in the hobby for a couple months, you have like so much more information than someone who joined a week ago. And like, it can come off as very strong. It could come off as gatekeeping-y. So I think elitism has definitely grown, especially with like how young some of these kids are. Like, if they taste the fact that like, oh, some people look up to like what I have to say online, like they get like a very big power surge or something, and they feel like, oh, okay, I'm somebody now. So yeah, I feel like elitism is definitely. I don't know if it's growing, but I think it's become somewhat of an issue. Maybe let's say.
Yeah, maybe it's just more noticeable now that the community has grown so much. We have so many more members overall that the number of elitist people has grown, scaled properly with
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
So we probably just we see a lot more because I completely agree with you. Honestly, I've been noticing that a lot more as well, and I mean, it's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. And like you were mentioning, you answer a lot of noob questions on stream. You know, someone's got to do that. Someone
yeah,
has to be the people that do that because otherwise people either don't learn at all or they don't learn properly, and both of those are bad things if they're trying to be in this hobby. So sometimes you just have to you have to take the bullet, and I feel like you've kind of taken the bullet or jumped on the grenade more so than anyone else in this hobby, and I would like to
yeah,
thank you for that because it makes everyone's job a little bit easier that you're kind of like the shield of this community. They have to like break through your shield to get to the rest of us. Which is
yeah.
kind of funny because since you've gotten so much larger, I don't get asked the noob questions as often, and it's kind of interesting that it's been.
I'm the wall.
You
They just
are.
pass through me.
Yeah. It's like that like hand drawn like World of Warcraft meme or whatever. It's like the big hero character with the shield, like the tiny like squishy
Yeah,
character behind. Oh
yeah.
man,
Which is
fantastic.
interesting because when I first started off and when I was like kind of realizing people were interested in what I was producing, I didn't want to be in my current position. I wanted to be like you guys or like Mexong, like the channel that like only like the diehard veterans would go, kind of like this like underground. I'm not that you guys are underground, but like
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to be like not at the forefront. I don't like attention, so I just
What
wanted to.
the funniest part about this whole situation is that is exactly what I want. That is what I wanted Top Clack to be. Is what you're doing is being able to like pioneer the community, be at that forefront, answer all
All right,
these dumb
let's.
questions. This is what I want, and it's funny because, like you said, like a lot of the more like elitist or enthusiast level people are the people that are watching Top Clack, not the brand new people. Sure, we get new people here and there, but like you know, it's a lot of it are the experienced people that like really aren't much worse at this hobby than people like you and I. So it's like at that point,
Yeah,
it's
I
like
mean,
how do you teach people that know like the same knowledge that you have? It's strange.
yeah. I
So
mean, now that I'm in the position, I'm enjoying it very much. Maybe we should switch contents. Maybe I'll handle
eh,
news, and then you. I'll send you whatever builds I get to you, and then
this sounds like an awful idea. We should absolutely do this.
I'll go find the co-host.
No,
We'll try it out.
please don't start doing that because then Top Clack will die. Don't start a new show, Nathan. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Anyways, back on topic.
Another
Any other
positive.
negative or positive? Any other positives or
Positive.
negatives?
I think it's great that people are making this a livelihood. I mean, if you guys kept up with all the recent key cult news,
Yeah,
like, oh my goodness, like
that's a big
after,
deal. Yeah.
after what happened with Type Machina, who would have thought Key Cult would have been purchasing a CNC machine, buying a studio warehouse?
Not just any CNC machine, too. That's like a real deal.
Yeah, they have a legitimate one.
A
Yeah, I mean,
real deal CNC.
yeah. MG Sickler, Novel Keys, they're trying to move out of their current studio again, and their studio right now is not small. Dixie Mac also trying to move out. We're seeing tons of vendors coming full time. Hopefully, more content creators full time as well.
Yeah. It's a little bit harder for people like us because
Yeah, we're not actually
we don't
selling
sell
the
anything,
product.
so we have to just
but-
hope people like us enough.
Yeah, I think it's great to see that people can turn something they enjoy into a something that sustains them, which is ultimately why I made the leap to quit software engineering to try this full time. Like I did enjoy software engineering, but deep down, like video production, photography, and dealing with tech is like I came to realize that was my true passion, and I'm still on the younger side, so I thought I'd try it out while I was young. So I think it's great to see other people follow their passions as well. Um, that was a positive. Another negative. Another negative.
You don't need to think of one, but if you got one, feel free, of course.
It's not really like the community's fault, but not enough supply. It's become a huge negative, I suppose, for a lot of people.
Sure.
Um, Long wait times for keycap set. Like you join a group by now, you're seeing it next year.
Yeah, true.
But I mean, that's not really like a negative. I mean, yeah, it's not. It's just kind of a growing pain, I suppose.
Yeah, we're all kind of in this together, and we're kind of
Yeah.
coming up on issues together, and
Mhm.
we're trying to work through them together. So I feel like everyone kind of needs to not necessarily take a step back, but just kind of open your mind a little bit in this hobby right now, and realize that a lot of people are struggling in ways, but we are trying to all push this community forward because we are still relatively small, we're relatively niche, and all things considered, we're relatively young too. I mean, this community is only like a decade old or more, like not a whole lot more than that. So a lot of people think all these like veterans in the community, like me and Man of Interest, like we really haven't been around that long, like all things considered. So it's kind of interesting. We're all at the forefront of this, and realistically, and everything that we do kind of impacts this. So it's always kind of interesting to see how people choose to push the boundaries here.
Oh, I've got more complaints.
Yes.
Too many damn discords. Stop
Oh.
making your own server. Stop. I don't want to join more servers. I just
Yeah.
server mute anyways. I immediately join a server, mute the entire server. I hate it. um,
What's funny is we had someone talking about in the Top Clack Discord yesterday that they had just reached their server limit, which is like 100.
yeah, I'm
And
at my server limit.
and I'm like,
I don't
what do
join
you
it
do
anymore.
with 100 servers? Like, that's
Well, I mean, half of
crazy.
mine are for the emotes. You gotta join. You gotta leave
True.
half for your emotes, and then the others. I'm in so many keyboard servers. I don't even check all of them. I should probably purge my servers list.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh man, I can't imagine being in that. I'm in like 12 servers, and that's way too many for me. Way too many because I only pay attention to like 1.5 of them.
Another negative, which I am to blame for as well. We still don't have a centralized source of information. Something. The RMK wiki
Trash.
severely outdated.
It's
Yes,
it's so
severely
bad
outdated.
these days. Yeah.
I feel like RMK. I've talked to some of the mods on the current team as well. Like, I feel like RMK needs to change. Like, the moderation team needs to actually step up. They need to. I mean, not that RMK has issues, but like they need to. I don't think RMK is adapting to
They're not
changing.
they're not doing anything at all.
Yeah,
they're not doing
yeah.
anything bad, but they're not doing anything at all, which I think is probably
Yeah.
the main problem there.
Mhm.
And,
Like, not that they have to put up a wiki themselves, but like at least clean it up a bit. Link more modern resources wherever they might exist. Maybe hire more mods or something. Like, there's a huge server, and
yeah, and there's a lot of people willing to help too, honestly. And we had in the COVID stream last Saturday, we brought up a good point. Osiris from X on Deck brought up a good point that RMK is not supporting its content creators at all whatsoever. If you if you look in the wiki, you're not going to find Taeha types. You're not going to find Top Clack or Mex on Deck or anything else. Like, all of that doesn't exist. But I mean, and maybe I'm just a little biased, but I think we are good for the community, and we are inevitable. Whether it's us or someone else, it's gonna happen. And I feel like
that's a good point.
RMK as a whole should be trying to put people forward. They should be putting up your streams, sticking your special streams or whatever on the top of RMK and stuff like that, and putting us in the wiki and things. It's like, why are we not supporting content
well, I
creators?
mean, it can get dicey. Like, if you support one, you got to support all, right? If you're
Sure.
a subreddit like RMK,
Sure.
and it is a lot of upkeep. But
look what we did for meetups. Look, as soon as meetups started becoming big, bam, they were in the wiki. We had a sticky with every single meetup linked. Why can't we do something like that for content creators?
and like, even I think more so than the subreddit, like the Discord. like what is the RMK Discord? Like, is it? To me, it still feels more like a social place where, like, it's kind of almost a giant clique. Like, you have to know and befriend people on the RMK Discord server to, like, not be trolled on, interact with them, talk anything remotely about keyboards.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like maybe RMK, it's about time RMK, like, maybe they have a discussion on like what they want to be. Like, I still recommend RMK despite all this, because
Sure.
it's still the biggest collection of keyboard enthusiasts online. But like, I feel like it could be better.
I feel like RMK is really good for like keyboard pictures. A lot of people share their pictures there.
Mhm.
Their memes. I think
Yeah.
we could all pretty much
I,
agree that Reddit is kind of a default place for memes to begin with. But
uh-huh.
yeah, I think there is definitely some merit to RMK, but it doesn't feel like a keyboard community there specifically anymore. I've noticed.
Mhm. It's more like a keyboard Pinterest.
Yeah, exactly. That's a
Yeah.
really good way to look at it, actually.
Yeah.
Um, Anyways, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up COVID-19 at least once in the stream, because obviously it is,
Mhm.
in theory, affecting everyone. It is a pandemic, as decreed by the WHO. So, whether temporarily or permanently, a lot of people have been kind of losing their jobs or income throughout the hobby, whether you're a content creator or, just a regular user. And has that affected you at all? Has the COVID-19 pandemic affected you in any way, or do you think it's going to affect you in any way moving forward? Because I know as content creators, we kind of have a unique situation compared to some other people. Whereas I've seen a lot of content creators start to stream significantly more now, some of them even every single day lately, now that they've, let's say, been furloughed or just been, let go, or maybe had their businesses closed. So has that been affecting you at all?
I haven't seen many effects yet, both positive and negative, but some things that have changed. I opened up my build services recently in a long time. Many people signed up for boards that haven't shipped or have been delayed because of the virus. So yeah, I've said it on my stream. I might not have keyboards to build on stream in a couple of weeks or so because people just aren't receiving their products. I guess which might directly affect my content and how much I earn from it. But yeah, there's that. But my viewership has gone up recently, definitely. I'm not sure if it's because everyone's staying home or if it's because of the exposure from the Verge video that went out. Hard to say what it's by, but I've definitely seen a spike in viewership, so that's been nice. Um, I mean, I as a full time streamer, you're pretty much living a quarantine life anyway, so my lifestyle hasn't changed much, so that's good, I guess.
Do you
Yeah,
expect anything to kind of change moving forward? I know we're still kind of at the start of this, and no one really has any kind of concrete info or evidence on what's going to be happening in the next month or
yeah.
two or three or four. But like, do you think that it could negatively impact your livelihood here? And if so, like, do you have kind of backup options?
I think so. I mean, I'm not a health expert, but from what it seems like, I feel like we're gonna be in this whatever we're going through for a long time, and if people actually aren't making money, I don't have boards to build. And why would someone pay for a build service when they're already short on money? So
Yeah,
I definitely might take I might take a hit to my streaming, um, which maybe is a blessing in disguise. Maybe that'll force me to start making YouTube videos and pushing them out. So I do have other avenues that I haven't explored yet. So maybe not having keyboards to build is what kicks me over to focus really hard on my YouTubing. Um, I probably don't think I could survive off my gaming content, to be honest. But
I hear
yeah.
you're the best ever, especially at Call of Duty Warzone. I hear you're quite a pro at.
Oh my goodness! I mean, it was fun playing with Mike, but oh, that
I
was
caught.
bad today.
I
That
thankfully
was
I was
bad.
fortunate enough to catch some of your stream earlier when you were playing with Mike, and oh my gosh, you are fantastic, Nathan.
But yeah, so far I haven't been. I might have been hit in a positive way currently. Like I've seen a
Yeah,
spike in viewership, which leads to a little bit more subscriptions. So far I've thankfully haven't seen much of an issue with this. But yeah, well, it might change in a month or two.
yeah, it's hard to say. I totally feel you though. I feel like all the content creators are kind of going through a very similar thing right now. We've seen a
Yeah,
spike on all of our content as well. I mean, obviously we're not cool enough to be talked about by The Verge, but it's pretty clear that people being quarantined, being isolated, staying at home, being furloughed or whatever,
yeah,
they want something to do, and people like us have been giving them something to do. And whether
yeah.
it's while it's not necessarily perfect, I think we're all trying to help in our own way.
Yeah,
And
but I mean, it's been very wholesome to see like content creators stepping up. Like even outside
yeah.
of keyboard content creators, like tons of content creators are streaming more. I've been taking the time to like hang out in my Discord more. Like I talked quite a bit with some of the viewers yesterday on my server. Um, I finally am trying to set up a Minecraft server because people have been asking for it for the longest time. what better time to do it. My Switch just came in. People have been asking for Switch
Oh,
gameplay,
you got a
so
Switch finally, huh?
yeah, another thing to play with my viewers. So
Nice.
I haven't stepped up entirely 100% to the plate, but I also have been trying to see how much better I can make people's lives who are working from home and going through stuff. So yeah,
Gotta
it's
respect
been
that.
great to see.
I gotta respect that. All right. Well, now is probably a great time to actually open this up to a little bit of a Q&A from the viewers. So we do have a decent amount of viewers right now. If you guys have questions, like we're going to answer a few of them before we head off for the night. So we're probably not going to get to every single one of them, but we'll try to get to some of the more important ones that I pick out. If you use the @TopClack tag, I can pick out the questions from chat so much easier, and it helps me out immensely. So please, 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 if you do have a question that you want to ask, feel free to ask it, but use the @TopClack tag, and we'll do this for about, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes before we head out. And of course, you don't need to ask questions about me. You can ask me on the Discord. Ask questions for Nathan because he is the guest here and he deserves your attention and respect. All right, they're already coming in quickly, so I'm pretty much just gonna read them off for you. So, Whozy Tom, I believe is his username, asking first keyboard for Nathan.
It's my Real Force 104 UG High Pro.
Nice. And just because I imagine we might get this question at some point, what's your favorite keyboard?
Like all-time favorite?
Sure. Your desert island keyboard, what is it?
Oh, okay. Well,
or scenario, both. Is your desert
the scenario
island
changes
different?
my answer. Yes. If I am stuck on a desert island, then the Real Force 87U is my choice. Same. If I could only use that for the rest of my life. If my house is burning and I could only save one keyboard from my collection, then that would be the #2 stainless steel.
Interesting. Which is probably the one board that would survive the fire, ironically enough. Interesting. Okay, so #2, your overall favorite board, Real Force, yes. 87U, Desert Island.
Well, board. #2 I chose because of a mix of financial reasons / my love for it / the coolness factor of it.
We all know what the #2 is, how cool it is, and how much it's worth. So I think we can. We all know where that's.
Yeah, that's why the scenario changes my answer.
That's fair. That's fair. I got you. All right, 8-Bit Derp asking Nathan, if you could describe MX Mega Blacks in one word, which word would it be? So if I recall, those are the 350-gram Cherry MX Blacks.
350-gram actuation, I think.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, 700 bottom out. It's terrible. Don't use it. Yeah, it's really bad. It's not fun. It feels like you know that thing you use to like increase your grip strength, the whatever tool that is.
Do you mean like a stress? Oh, not a stress ball then.
Not a stress ball, but it looks like it's like
I know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's like this, but there's like a giant coil, and then it has a lot of resistance, whatever it's called.
It's literally just for strengthening your hands, basically.
Yeah, it's like if you had a finger version for it and you're trying to push your finger against it. That's what it felt like.
I feel you. Yeah, that's a little too heavy for a usable Switch. I don't think anyone uses that comfortably, and if they do, they're probably lying to you.
Well, people, I think I got around 110 or something on stream typing on it, and then Krellbit took it to the SoCal meetup. I don't think anyone hit 100. People chat flamed me for typing so slow. SMH, they couldn't even type that.
People think 100 words per minute is slow. People are crazy. 100 words per minute is already pretty fast.
On the Mega Blacks.
Especially on those, yeah. All right, Cypher Sage with our next question. We're going to try to lightning round through this a little bit, just because there are going to be an insane amount of questions. So, Cypher Sage is asking, what made you build the Fiel Holy Panda combo? So that's pretty legendary on your YouTube, and a lot of people would probably argue that's one of the things that helped in your success.
Yeah, it's actually TopClack. I heard about Holy Pandas because of you guys, and I was like, okay, I gotta try out this Switch. What's so great about it? And I had purchased a Fiel with Inver Panda, so I already had half the components. So it was just a matter of finding Halo Trues and then putting it in the Switch. It was also my first time Frankensteining a Switch, which wasn't too hard. So that's how it happened.
Nice.
I just saw the Reddit post. I was like, okay, I guess I'll try this out, and it ended up being a really nice Switch for me.
Just for my personal curiosity, how do you feel about Holy Pandas these days?
I still like them. I
Do
think
you?
they're a great. Well, yeah, and as a tactile Switch, I like the amount of tactility it has. I like the sound. It's a little loud, but as a tactile Switch, I do like it.
Would you say it's like your favorite tactile Switch for the MX format, at least?
In the MX format, ooh.
Like, what is your
Mm,
number one tactile Switch?
if I could only use one MX tactile Switch for the rest of my life, it would actually be Cherry Browns.
Interesting. A
Like
cherry brown evangelist. I love
as
it.
much as I like Holy Pandas, I don't think I could type on it every day for the rest of my life. There are some times where I crave the tactility of a Holy Panda, but I can't use it for too long, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
It's funny
Yeah.
because since I was the first person to quote unquote make a holy panda, literally all I did was put a halo stem in a panda housing. Anyone would have done it if they had it. I just happened to be one of two people with the prototype stems, so I was one of two people that were able to do it. But it's funny because I still get questions for it, and people are like, "Oh man, you must love holy pandas," and blah blah blah. How do I do this and that? And I'm like, dude, I don't even like holy pandas anymore. It's not even like in 2017 that Switch was bagging. Let me tell you.
Why don't you like it anymore?
In 2020 that Switch is not as good as it once was. I think
Why not?
there are just better options. I really do think the Zelio V2 is just a superior Switch.
It feels so different though.
I still like them. I still have my original Holy Panda board that started it all. I still type on it happily, and it's very enjoyable. But I think by today's standards, it's overrated.
Okay.
And while it might be worth 50, 60, maybe even 70 cents a Switch, I don't think it's worth $1, $2, $3 a Switch. I just don't. So,
Definitely not over retail. I would never pay over retail for a Cherry MX style Switch.
yeah, I would never pay retail. I would never pay over retail for any Switch personally, but I kind of have a very value centric mind, both in keyboards
Okay.
and in life. So.
I can't say I have purchased non over retail Switches.
Oh, I have as well, but I mean I don't think anyone likes it.
Yeah, but I mean, oftentimes if I ever pay over retail for a Switch, it's usually for vintage Switches.
Sure, yeah, the ones that actually aren't being produced ever anymore. So that makes sense a little bit. All right, whoa, Hing Win asking, what do you mean young? Aren't you 45? Yeah, I'm pretty old. I'm not actually 45.
They're asking me. It's a running joke on my stream. Yeah,
I get old jokes too. So I don't.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
No, I get asked about my age all the time on my stream, and
Okay.
I sarcastically. I mean, my sarcasm's kind of dry. I sarcastically said that I was 45 on my Tifu build stream, and that made it to the edit video. So it started a whole debate about, is this guy actually 45 or is he 20s or whatever? Yeah, it's an inside joke.
Yeah, it's funny because like we were talking about earlier, like you never know what people are gonna take when you say something on a stream or a video. Like you never know what people are gonna do with it. So you can say or do something, and people are just gonna run with it and maybe make their own thing. And it's there's nothing you can do at that point. It's scary to know that you can say something that seems so silly and joking, and then people can just blow it.
Clipping out of context, very dangerous.
Yeah, it's really really scary as a content creator. That's funny. How old are you though? You're 24, 25, 26, somewhere in there. Or do you not publicly talk about it? That's fine too.
Well, I just turned 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Wait, did I? Yeah, no, I just turned 25. Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you that aren't 21 or older yet, you really do lose track of your age after 22, 23, because you just don't care anymore. It doesn't really matter. Birthday.
Yeah,
birthday's just another name.
It's in the Verge article. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So my age is public.
All right. I am failing horrendously on this lightning round, so I apologize for that, guys. Stuff Dude 99 is asking most anticipated key set. So what do you got upcoming that's really interesting to you? And most anticipated keyboard. Upas adds
key set
and keyboard.
Patiently waiting for GMK Dracula.
Okay.
That was my favorite set of last year, probably. Keyboard. It's got to be the number 265.
Favorite board, number 265. All right.
Well, favorite anticipated board.
Well, sure.
Yeah. I also joined in on the Veracity Steel. Normal Force Mark II. So waiting to see how that turns out.
Well,
I normally,
that'll be something.
yeah, I mean, I normally don't care about like an all shiny board like that, but I mean, it's my island board, so I felt like I gotta flex on the island.
Yeah, it's also Norbauer too, and that guy is
Dude,
just a
yeah,
class act that you can't help but want to support.
yeah. So I'm also excited to see how that turns out.
Fantastic. All right, Depleted Vespian asking largest keyboard Nathan has used. Biggest keyboard.
Biggest?
Yeah, what's been largest board?
What do they mean by large? I guess if it's by form factor, it's just my Real Force 104 UG. If it's in terms of sheer size, depending on what you qualify as used, I guess my beam spring.
Beam springs are pretty big. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Cody's asking Nathan, which fruit do you want on Animal Crossing? Oh man.
I don't even know how that game works. I have people sending me videos on like you should watch this before choosing your island. I'm like, what?
I haven't got it yet, but yeah. Apparently it's pretty amazing.
I've never played this game, so I have no idea how it works.
You just got a Switch though, correct?
Yeah, this is my first Switch ever. I haven't even set it up. It came literally before we prepped for this. So.
Oh, that's funny. Is it the Animal Crossing Switch by chance?
No,
that one is baller, man. If you haven't seen that one, nice, you should.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. I thought about purchasing it, but I was like, I don't want to Switch. And then everyone started playing Animal Crossing, and now they're getting flipped for too much.
yeah, that's man, ain't that the truth? Cypher Sage is asking, has Quake given Taeha a hug? Have we met in person before? We have, right? Like once? At
yes.
Like 2018 NorCal meetup?
At the NorCal meetup, but you didn't know me back then. I knew you.
Wow, my heart is fluttering.
When I met you at the NorCal meetup, I was still just a regular community member, not very public.
Fair enough. I don't think we hugged, unfortunately, but we'll get on that next time we see each other in public. Yeah. Once all this coronavirus is settled and we see each other at a meetup, we'll hug. Just for you. Don't worry. Oh man! All right. Julian Media is asking, what's another collecting community you'd like to join or get involved in? Interesting question.
I've been getting into knives lately. Custom knives.
Yo, you and me both, bro. I just picked up a Spyderco a couple weeks ago.
Ooh, I mean, I haven't pulled the plug on anything, but like I've been learning about CNCing here and there, and I've been kind of getting like interested in like other products. Yeah, I guess knives.
Are we gonna see more collaboration between Taeha Types and Keycult now that they have a CNC machine?
Oh, I mean, if I could ask them to prototype me something. We'll see. Yeah.
Interesting. That's an interesting thought too, because it kind of might affect the rest of the community based on how they want to use it. Like, would they, let's say, open it up to someone like you for projects as well? Yeah. Because that could really change the shape of the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, my viewers already know I'm into collecting cards. I collect decks of cards, playing cards. Oh. I would like to get into pens, but too many hobbies at once.
Yeah, a lot of them being quite expensive, honestly.
Yeah.
Aslan Deft is asking, best gasket keyboard. I think I know what you're going to say here.
Oh my goodness. Best gasket keyboard. Probably my Gasket 00.
Really?
For the typing feel.
The Gooskit, huh? All right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've had many opportunities to flip it for ridiculous prices, and I withheld it.
Yeah, interesting. I'm surprised you didn't go with the Keycult option.
I'm not a big 60% user, but the Gasket 00 I really like in terms of typing feel.
Fair enough. XYZSM is asking, what's the best gaming Switch? Oh boy.
He's clearly trolling.
I thought that might have been a troll, but I didn't know who it was, so I didn't want to assume because that.
Wait, what was the username? What was the username? Sorry.
XYZSM. Zizsum. I don't know if it's supposed to be a word.
I'm pretty sure they're one of my viewers. I think they're a viewer.
All right. But to anyone that's curious and maybe new to keyboards, I think the correct answer is whichever one you like using the best, because the vast majority of them are going to perform the same. Not all of them, but the vast majority will perform the same in games. It's just a matter of what you're comfortable with. All right, Keyboard Krill asking, has Nathan ever scuffed a client build? Ever botched something on stream while building?
I most definitely have. My build service had a rough start somewhat.
Sure.
I've definitely damaged. I've never utterly destroyed a keyboard, but I have damaged client boards in the past.
That's fair. I feel like it's kind of inevitable. Like, if you build keyboards, it's going to happen eventually, whether it's yours or someone else's. That's kind of just the way it goes. Yeah. Unfortunate. But, let's see. Coin Storm is asking, Taeha, did you stain your marble desk pad with the coffee yesterday?
I did not. No stains.
See, you need to get the GMK cafe mat, so that way when you spill coffee on it, it's actually thematic.
I did get it. Looking forward to the set as well.
You are big brain. All right. GOM, Young Geo, is asking, is this guy a streamer? I've never heard of him. Oh my gosh, what a troll.
That's toxic.
Yeah, I got some trolls in my chat too, don't worry. It's not just you. It's not just you. Choconaut is asking, what keyboards are in Nathan's collection? I imagine at this point your collection's probably pretty vast and varied.
No, I sold off a lot before I went full-time. Just because there was so much money stuck in keyboards.
Yeah.
And I wanted to focus on my equipment. But if you go to my Twitch chat and type in !inventory, it links you to a Google Doc of my current collection.
That's genius. I'm going to steal that. Alright. Because I am not above that. Alright, his ban is asking, #1 thing to decrease stab rattle on a pre-built. How do you feel about that?
Lube it.
Yeah, I think
lube is the single greatest thing you could do to a keyboard.
Yeah, as far as rattle's concerned, lubing is pretty much all you can do. I mean, there are other mods, kind of like the heat shrink mod that I think Rama was a big fan of. But I've heard a lot of mixed things about heat shrink on stab wires, tolerance issues. So I think lube is the safe way to go, but at the same time, I think stabilizers in general are kind of just bad. And when you can use less stabilizers, do so.
That's another surprising thing. Why don't we have a solution for stabilizers?
Yeah. I was ranting about this on the show yesterday, literally yesterday. That's
been years. Why do we still use
We use 6 decade old switch and stabilizer technology, Nathan. Let that sink in for a second.
As someone who offers build services, I should hope that there's no innovation in stabs, because that's one of the biggest reasons why people send their boards to me.
If boards get too easy to build, we become obsolete. Is the problem.
If there's a perfect stab that you don't need a tune and you just install, I'd be out of business.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. Wood TV asking, will speed switches make me better at gaming? Probably not. Or if it might help, but it might not be a perceivable amount. But in theory, they could help. Fluffy Butto XX asking, Nathan, does being sponsored make you biased on switches? Great question.
Oh, no. Sponsors, that's an interesting thing in the keyboard hobby.
Yes.
I feel like sponsorships for us were kind of differently compared to like other mainstream sponsorships. Like
it's less of a quote-unquote sponsorship and more of a partnership, I feel. Because I feel like when most people hear sponsor, they feel like
that you're getting paid to say X and Y.
Exactly, like you're getting paid to say certain things, which does happen. I don't know if it happens in this community, but it does happen in other communities, obviously. Yeah, but as far as I'm aware, that doesn't happen here. I know most of us are, we have enough integrity and pride that we're not really going to lie to hundreds and thousands of people. Because then where does that leave us? We just get roasted by viewers. So
the cool thing is that all the vendors who sponsor us in the community are very much still community members. Like you'll find sponsors in your stream or my stream all the time, just chatting in our Discords. They just hang out as regular members, and when I talked about sponsorships with all of my current sponsors, even before I said it, like MG Sickler, he was my first sponsor. When I first talked to Mike, the first thing he said was, the only stipulation I have about our sponsorship is that you be honest about our products. Like whether it's good or bad, like that's what we want. So will that change in the future as Novel Keys becomes like a huge corporation or a company? I don't know, maybe, but as it stands, yeah, the sponsorships, we are not forced to say anything, and whatever at least for me, whatever I say, it's my opinions.
Yeah, it's the same for us. We actually we have like a very simple contract with each one of our sponsors, drawn up and signed contracts, and one of the stipulations in our contracts is that we're not going to lie about anything. So if we don't like a product, we're going to say that, and all the sponsors have agreed to that by signing it. So, you know, it's something that I am very passionate about. Always, you know, telling the truth on stream, and I imagine that you're probably very similar in that regard, because like there's no reason to lie on stream, because you guys are smart enough that you would catch us anyways, and we would just get roasted and go down in flames, and there's like nothing we can do to stop it. So A, it's not worth doing even if you wanted to do it, and B, like people like us don't do that anyways, because what's the point of putting out false information to the community? That doesn't help anyone.
It's like one of the nice things about still being a somewhat niche community. Like you still interact with them as if they were just a normal person and not some other higher tier entity.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
UA Maxim is asking, are you into the audiophile community? I've seen and respect your headphones on stream.
I would like to get into audio. That's another hobby, but that's way too expensive. I only have these because they were sent out to me free of charge.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which ones are those?
These are the Ultimate Ears UE Live IEMs, custom IEMs.
Fancy. Is that one of the ones that like kind of form fit to your ear? Like, do you have to mold it?
Yeah, I had to get an impression of my ear canal, sent it to them, and then they made it to.
Oh man, that's so cool. I've always enjoyed I've never used those before, but I've always enjoyed that kind of thing. WGM PC is asking, are there any Alps builds in your current queue?
Yes. I don't have all the parts for it though. I don't have any client Alps builds that I can think of off the top of my head, but I have a couple personal Alps builds.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, 10 Strong with a good question here. Either of you guys ever use a Fosun Aquamarine? Keeping with switches, what category of switches are you hoping to see innovations/improvements in LT? Wait, what is L/T/C? Oh, linear tactile clicky. Okay, sorry. So have we used Fosun Aquamarines, and what category of switches are you hoping to see innovations and improvements in?
I have not tried the Fosun Aquamarine. Innovation? I want non-cherry style switches. I want better optical, better Hall effect.
Yes.
And once you feel a nice one, oh, it blows linears out of the water. Or, at least for linears. I haven't felt many tactile switches in those style, but
this goes back to the switch technology that we were just talking about. We're heralding 60-year-old technology as like the best of the best. Like it's just a metal leaf.
Often copied, never reached.
It's literally a metal leaf, two metal leaves that are either touching or not. Like we could do better in our community, I feel. Same with stabilizers. Anyways, with that over.
I think in the near foreseeable future, we might see maybe custom Topra being a thing.
Yeah, Gondolindrum with that new Faraday 60 PCB, the HHKB replacement Topra PCB.
Yeah, so. And just from what I know, I talked to Norbar quite a bit from what he's working on. Noxair is doing their own thing. There's people starting to pick up on the Topra forefront, so it should be exciting.
Absolutely. So as far as that question, 10 Strong, I have used the Fosun Aquamarines. I think that's actually a fairly dated switch. That's a few years old at this point. I honestly think it was kind of just bad always. It was effectively like a really cool looking clicky, but it was incredibly scratchy. It was a click jacket switch. It was 2016, 2017 when it had, well, honestly not really that much success because no one really liked them. So I feel like that's kind of what it is. As far as the innovations and improvements, I talked ad nauseum about that yesterday on stream, so I'm not really going to talk a whole lot about that. If you wanted to go back and watch the Q&A section of yesterday's stream, then definitely go to that, and you can get a lot of ranting out of me on how I feel about that. Doobs in Shower is asking, why is there no kit or PCB tier list for each layout? Interesting, a tier list, kind of like how the PC community does stuff like that.
Well, this it's kind of pointless because not every PCB supports every case.
Yeah. Well, he says for each layout, so I think he means.
Well,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
you would tier each 60% PCB, for example. Then you would tier each 65% PCB, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because a lot of them share the same features and are often designed by the same people anyways.
Maybe amongst like universal PCBs, maybe, but I mean, there's tons of keyboards with custom proprietary PCBs, so there's no real point in making such a list, including those. I feel
it's also worth noting that as far as like tiers are concerned, a lot of that's kind of up in the air in our community. Like, no one really has a set on what is like entry level, what is value centered, what is budget, what is premium, what is high end. You know, you have to be able to get you have to be able to get everyone in the community basically to agree on like some kind of, you know, terminology. Otherwise, like, what's the point in using it? So I feel like that could be cool, but there would be multiple steps we'd have to do first before we can get to that.
Or like, I mean, like, even if we take two Wilba PCBs, he has one for Keycult 60% keyboards. He has one for the Mechanisk 60% keyboard. They're both designed and I'm guessing manufactured by Wilbus Connects, but one of them has a slit, one of them doesn't. Like, what makes one better over the other? Like, how do you rank PCBs?
Yeah,
like that?
I think
like, they're both Wilba products, but
it'd be easier to rank kits. Not that it would be easy to rank kits, but it would be easier to rank kits than PCBs. But I think that's something that I don't think our community really needs to worry about right now. And there are many things we should set our sights on first. All right, the Panda is asking thoughts on the current state of mech market in terms of moderation and pricing / rules. So I haven't used mech market a whole lot lately, so maybe you'll have a better answer for this.
I also have not been keeping up with mech market just because I don't really feel the need to buy anything anymore off the market. I'm honestly scared we're gonna see more scam issues. Like, there is so much inherent trust in using mech market that, like, with the amount of people that are coming in to sell and buy secondhand, I don't know, it's just a scary thought to me. I mean, but it's not like mech market's fault. Like, how do you have a secure system in place for trading, and especially when you're dealing with very expensive items? Like,
I used to be a moderator on mech market, and let me tell you, there isn't a way. You just there's no way to keep it. Like, use PayPal goods and services, invoice, stuff like that. Like, don't send friends and family to people you don't know. Don't use Venmo, and like, you know, it's like there's basic things you can do. PayPal's pretty good about getting your money back if something goes wrong.
Yeah, so, like, it'd be amazing if we had some kind of service that, like,
it's true. I was so
handle
paranoid.
All this, but yeah, I don't know how. I don't know what the future of mech market is.
Yeah, I used to be so paranoid that like, when I would sell something on mech market, I would take a video on what I was doing, packing it up, proving that it was there, printing the label and whatever, and just I would keep that video in case they tried to dispute anything, saying I never sent it or something, and that way I could be like, here's the video, you can see me packing it up, like, you can see me taking it to the post office or whatever, like. So I feel like there are ways to go about it, and one thing that used to be pretty popular, I don't think it's seen very often anymore these days, is what you do is you use a trusted third party. So, like, let's say, you know, Nathan Kim, for example, very popular in the keyboard community. Lots of people trust him. He has a lot to lose in this community, so he's not going to fuck up. So because of that, then maybe I and someone else would want to use you as, you know, a medium, and we'd both send our goods or whatever to you. Then you would confirm that they are correct, and then you would then send them out to the appropriate people. That used to be pretty common when I was a little bit newer, but I don't think that usually gets used ever really anymore. But that could be an option as well, although it obviously will cost you additional shipping. Yeah. So, I mean, there are things to do to better protect yourself, but I would say that if you're actually ever worried about being scammed ever, just don't ever use mech market.
Or it'd be cool, you know how we have, like, meetups in, like, a couple states every now and then?
Yeah.
Some states is regularly. Like, if there was a keyboard flea market that was scheduled, and people can just bring keyboards. I mean, it'd mostly be a local thing. I don't imagine people would travel to it, but
Yeah,
like just bring all your old stuff to sell. Set up tents.
it would make sense in some places like in California or maybe Seattle, New York, Chicago, like the bigger area meetups where you do get 2, 3, 4, 500 people. But yeah, I don't think anyone would ever like fly to a meetup to sell stuff.
Yeah.
So like that probably wouldn't work out too well. But you never know. You never know. I mean, at the rate our meetups are going, I mean, before the COVID issue, obviously, a lot of them were becoming more like conventions. Where you have dedicated booths, dedicated spaces for vendors that actually pay for this space, and they can set up their own stuff and contribute and promote and stuff. And it's kind of cool that we've moved away from just your ragtag meetups, and now they're quite large. Long Schlong Boy, also one of my favorite usernames, donates 200 bits. Says, "Oh my God, it's Nathan. Thank you so much." I am also in disbelief. I'm also in disbelief that Nathan agreed to do this because I would have bet money that he would have been too busy. Andrew is asking, how did you do on your Mech Madness 2020 brackets? I think mine are pretty awful. I don't know about yours.
I stopped looking. Yeah, mine got destroyed. I'm definitely not winning any of them. So
yeah, after like day 4, I was like, nope, that's not happening anymore. So
yeah, a lot of upsets.
A lot of upsets. Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Honfworst is asking, do you believe that the amount of new key sets will increase, decrease, or stay the same?
The new amount of key sets. I mean,
obviously, with this whole pandemic thing, this is something that we talked about on last Saturday's stream.
I think probably increase.
Yeah. It's kind of an interesting balance in this community because while a lot of people are, losing their jobs, their incomes or whatever, a lot of people in this hobby actually already work from home, or they can work remote. They work like a job that they can do that. We have a lot of coders, programmers, software developers and engineers and whatever. We have lots of people like that in the community that are still working currently, and they do still often have spare income, honestly. So it's not terribly surprising that a lot of these key sets are still doing all right. I think it's still maybe a little too early to answer this question, though. I think some people think we're kind of just coming out of the COVID-19 stuff, but honestly, I think we're kind of just going into it. So
the U.S. is like weeks behind other countries.
We're not going to talk politics, obviously, but America, not exactly what you'd call with it right now.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's very true. If you're in the keyboard community, chances are you most likely have some amount of disposable income. Yeah. And even myself, I have tons of young viewers, and they ask me like, "Oh, well, how should I be saving up for this?" I honestly discourage kids on my stream who ask those questions. Like you, if you are young, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be trying to buy a key cult. In my honest opinion, like if you're a kid who's working, like use that to do something else.
Yeah.
don't go into keyboard so young. As much as I would have loved the keyboard that young, I don't think it's necessarily the smartest move.
Yeah. Especially with a lot of those like ultra premium, like high end keyboards like Key Colts, which don't get me wrong, obviously they're fantastic and the quality control is amazing as well. But you can get relatively similar typing experiences that might not be quite as good for quite a lot cheaper. And this is something I've actually talked with Riot before as well, so I know he kind of agrees on me. That like a lot of the Key Cult boards, while they're amazing, they don't have nearly as good value per dollar as a lot of the other kits would be in the community. So I think especially if you're starting this community, don't aim at the $500, $600, $700 keyboards or the $3,000 aftermarket keyboards unless you just have like unlimited money. But say something more reasonable. I feel like nowadays. Like the new Clippa kit that Mechanics just put out, like $200 gets you the case, the plate, and the PCB. And like you spend a little bit more, and you spend $300 total, and you got yourself a pretty nice starter board. And there are even cheaper ways to go about it too, if you want. So I don't know. I kind of agree with you. I don't think a lot of the really young kids in particular should be aiming at these super high keyboards just because they're trendy and good. Because there are other options as well. Sorry about that rant, guys. All right. 8-Bit Derp asking, most underrated hybrid Switch. Holy Pandas, Holy Chickies, etc. So best most underrated
Oh,
Franken switch in your opinion?
most underrated Franken switch? I can't even think of that many that I've tried. For me, MX Silence. I absolutely love the softness of MX Silence, but I know a lot of my viewers don't like it.
Sure. Okay. I don't actually use a lot of hybrid switches. I got to be honest.
Hmm.
I mean, I've used Holy Pandas. I'm using what are these called? Diamond Starstones in this current board that I'm using now. I believe is what these are
What?
called.
The
And it's
Starstone makes some random.
it's yeah. It's his like Franken switch. So it's a Gateron blue ink housing with a halo clear stem. And these in particular have the 68-gram progressive thick Fox springs, I think. But yeah, the thing about hybrid switches is so many people are doing it now. It's hard to keep up. Like I see this in my Discord too. People are like, "Oh, what about these switches?" And I'm like, "I've never even heard of that word. I don't even know what you're talking about." And it's like like some three line word, and I'm like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
Like, I've never heard of that. People just keep inventing their own stuff, and while I like that, and it's nice to push the community in that way because switch science is a really big thing. I think our community should focus more on, and hybrid switches are cool, but like when you just throw together some random parts and you give it a random name, you can't expect everyone to automatically know what it is. So you got to give it time to sink in a bit. Like I know what's the new one that Mechs on Deck is really big into? Zycos. Yeah, I haven't used a Zyco yet. I've had like a dozen people ask me if I've used those yet, and I'm like, I don't even know what it is. Yeah. And then Chewy told me what it is, and I was like, that's expensive. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. I tried it. I mean, they really like it. I thought it was not too much different from a Holy Panda or any other Switch of that type, but they really like it. So
yeah,
they also have the taste in what I like. So
yeah, it's always going to be preference at the end of the day. But I can't justify spending $2, $3, $4 on a hybrid Switch for each Switch. I mean, I know that's not necessarily like astronomical because obviously we do spend hundreds of dollars on GMK sets and hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars on keyboards. So it's like, why would you give shit to Switches being expensive at that point? But at the same time, I'm all about the experience per dollar. So if I can get a better typing experience for a cheaper price or like a comparable one, I usually try to go that route because I'm not made of money like a lot of people. So I appreciate the value portion of it more than anything else. And a lot of the times the Franken switches are just awful value, like truly bad value. Sometimes, not all of them, obviously, but so a lot of them are, and it's kind of just the way it is. But a lot of people like that. Switch science is cool too, so is what it is. All right. Hing Win is asking Desert Island linear switch. Actually, he says Desert Island linear switch. So take that as you will.
Desert Island linear switch.
Yeah, so if you could use one linear switch for the rest of your life, what are you using? Basically, is what I think this is.
Very smooth 62-gram switch film Cherry MX Blacks.
Classic, very classic.
Very smooth, heavily used for many years. That's my choice.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Who's the Tom is asking, is Mr. Sleeves the first set Nathan designed himself? I think it's the only set you've designed yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, the only. I don't even know if you could really call it design either. I literally just color matched to one of my hoodies, so
yeah. That's another thing that I feel like people are talking about a lot in this community is what constitutes a designer. Because I know Dixie and Heinebush were actually having a conversation recently, and they were bringing up some good points. Because I mean, someone like Heinebush, he is an electrical engineer. Like that's what he studied for. That's what he practiced, and that's what he does like for his living. And like if he like designs something like a PCB, like he's designing a PCB. Like no one's going to question that he is a designer. And I know PCBs and key sets don't really correlate, but let's say that you or I designed a key set. Are we a designer at that point? Do we deserve the title of designer for just throwing a couple colors on a key set?
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's I mean, I'm not much of a designer myself. Maybe in the designer world, there's like a hard set number where you have to have designed X amount of cases. Like for example, I mean, I don't want to make it too dark, but like you're not a serial killer until it's hit 3. Like 3 is the magic number. So maybe in the designer world or something like that. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question.
I gotta be real with you, Nathan. That's an awful comparison.
That's just what came off the top of my head. I've been listening to a lot of like murder cases and yeah, a lot of that kind of podcast. I've been listening to too much of that.
Wow, that's all right. All right. So yeah. I mean, but, obviously, like you said, you're not a designer. I'm probably even farther from being a designer than you are. So we're probably not the people that ask about that. But I found the conversation that they were having because obviously Heine, Dixie, they are effectively designers. So
it's definitely interesting. Like I've been exposed to tons of topics I never would have been otherwise. So I'm learning myself.
Yeah, for sure. Kolta asking thoughts on GMK Bushido and GMK Sumi. I don't really remember what either of those look like. Actually, wait, no. Bushido is the beep set that has the
red and white,
the red stripe on the numro, or it's
somewhere.
there's a split on like row 3 where the colors change, I think, or something. I'm pretty sure I wasn't a huge fan of that one because I don't really like that style, and I gotta be honest, I don't remember Sumi.
I don't remember what Sumi looks like either. Right, okay. I like the desk mat for Sumi. But, I mean, I personally like the keycaps. But there's just so many neutral sets running right now. I don't know if Sumi's at the top of the priority for me.
Yeah.
But I do like the desk mat for Sumi.
Just, again, for my own curiosity, because this is something I've kind of been going through, I've noticed in this community, I'm curious if you've experienced it as well. Do you feel the same way about key set colorways now that you did 2 years ago? Are you as excited for a GMK set coming out now than you were 2 years ago?
No.
Exactly. I feel like it's so oversaturated now that it's like, it's hard to be really excited when you look at 20 GB GMK sets in a month. Like...
But I mean, I think I have a different perspective, just because I own so many.
That's
like
fair,
not everyone owns 20, 30 GMK sets. I literally just have a huge stack of keycaps that I just told my chat, hey, name a set, I'll put it on the keyboard. I'm like, do I really need to add to the stack? So I from that sense, I'm not all that excited about GMK sets. It's definitely not as exciting like as the first GMK set that I purchased.
Yeah,
but I am definitely interested with non-traditional color schemes, like the Bushido, for example. Like,
it is very unique.
I'm actually starting to like enjoy odd things in the community. So, yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
That's also why I love Handerbite.
you love Handerbite, huh? All right.
It looks a lot better in person. How
do you feel about GMK Rainbow? Remember that one?
Oh,
that might have been a little before you. No, the one Jade interest checked was Midnight Rainbow, which was similar, but it wasn't as intense.
Rainbow's it's a little, I don't know, it's different from Handerbite. It has different vibes. Yeah. I like Handerbite because there's a little bit of randomness to it.
There's like it's like a controlled chaos almost.
Yeah, but like Rainbow it's too flamboyant for me.
That's fair. Dog Hair Don't Care, great username by the way, says best gaming Switch is Nintendo Switch. Very nice. My Switch has been getting a lot of use lately. Although I'm kind of behind on Switch stuff because I got mine like 6 months ago, so all I've played is Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey so far. Which are both fantastic games, by the way.
Yeah, I have never played any Switch games other than Overcooked.
Oh my god. You gotta get Breath of the Wild. It might be game of the decade, I gotta be honest with you.
Wow, okay.
It really is a fantastic experience. And you can find it used for like $30 these days, so
okay.
Not too bad. Melodit asking, what is your favorite new skill that you've learned as a result of the hobby? Wow, that's a really good question.
Favorite new skill? Does streaming count as a skill?
I mean, sort of. I mean, it's all like, it kind of all comes back to like audio video stuff, right? So it all ties in some way.
No, that's too much of a cop-out answer. Skill. What's a not cop out answer?
Let's see. What do we do in the keyboard community? I mean, people design keyboards. They solder. They desolder. They lube. They tune.
Oh, I guess running a business in a sense. I mean, I'm not selling a physical product. I am kind of selling a service, and like my social medias are essentially kind of a entertainment business. Like I've been learning a lot of like legal, financial stuff that I had no idea I would need to learn. Like marketing yourself, brand image, that kind of stuff. I've been learning about.
There's a lot of things that go into it that most people don't really think about until you're in that position. And I've been doing the same thing too, like having to work on like legalities and taxes and stuff like that. I'm like, how the f like did I get by in life before this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question though. Poke Power Turtle is asking best tasting Switch. All right.
Okay.
I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on from that.
I know him.
Yeah, we're gonna head off here momentarily. I'm gonna do a few more questions, but I'm gonna try to filter through some of the more comedic or trolly questions. Not that those aren't fine as well, but I don't want to take up too much of Nathan's time here as well. So let's just try to keep it on topic here a little bit. Let's see.
Oh, Novel Keys is in chat. I just noticed.
Is he really? Wow. He's usually too busy for stream watching. That's nice.
Yeah, I mean he played games with me. That's rare.
Yeah, Mike. When are we gonna play Warzone? Because I've been playing Warzone lately too. I gotta admit, and I'm not that bad. So, just saying, man. I'm just saying. All right, Poke Power Turtle with another question. Why this one actually about keyboards? Why won't Nathan admit alpacas are the smoothest linear?
I don't know how to quantify smoothest.
I gotta be honest. I think most of like the top tier linears these days are all equal enough in smoothness, and that once you lube them, there aren't really any discernible smoothness differences between a lot.
Well, I would assume you would rank them before you lube it.
Sure.
But like as a stock switch, because sound plays into your perception of smoothness. Like I've even found, like even if you use like one of those small integrated boards, like I use a Rama board for example with hot swap. Like every position, if you swap it, like it sounds different. Like how do you rank? Well, I guess he said just smoothness. Okay.
Yeah. Why won't Nathan admit alpacas are the smoothest linear? Is the question.
Because I have not tried every linear out there, and I have also felt smoother linear switches. I have felt really nice Hall effect and optical switches.
Yeah. Once you, just like we've been talking about, once you break out of that like Cherry MX footprint, there's so much more you can do.
Like removing points of friction does wonders.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can do without two metal leaves that you have to make contact with. Incredible, guys. All right, who's here? Tom asking another question. Can we expect Mr. Sleeves round 2 soon? Planning on a follow-up to that?
I don't know about soon. I have been telling my chat I've been thinking about it and working. It's definitely coming. I can't promise it soon.
Fair enough. He's also asking if you are excited to receive GMK8008 soon.
Yes, I'm excited for that. I got shipping or tracking for dots. Also excited for dots.
Ooh, exciting. Very nice. Yeah, I'm pumped for 8008. I kind of forgot that I bought that set, and then I forgot how much I like it, and now I'm really excited. Fluffy Butto again asking, what features do you look for to help you decide you want to join a Keeb group by?
Oh, what features?
That's a really intricate question, actually. It's very good too.
It's different for people. Like I said, I have like 20, 30 GMK sets. I want one that looks different. If it looks too similar, like I don't need Ashes, Apollo, Sumi,
Lunar, like Lunar, all the ones
they're all too similar. Like I mean, sure, if I could purchase all of them, I would love it. But I'm gonna pick the one that I like the best out of those. Also, who's the vendor?
Yes, that's a big one for me. I'm gonna buy a set from Novel Keys way faster, and I'm gonna put way less thought into it versus a vendor that I don't know that I've never bought from.
Yeah, and also how the designer is as a person, like how they carry themselves in like the discussion,
Yeah.
how well to take criticism.
Yeah, a lot of variables go into something like that, honestly.
Yeah.
But I
But
I,
like,
I think if we're being honest, at the end of the day, if we like something enough, we're gonna join it regardless.
yeah, but like for me, when I first joined, it was more so, oh, is this a color scheme that I like, and could I plan a build around it? I was very about that when I first started off.
Yeah, well, they're not. He's actually not talking about key sets. He specifically says Keeb GB, so I think he's referring to keyboards.
Oh, keyboard. Oh, I was thinking about key sets this whole time.
Okay,
Oh, keyboard
I
group
might
buy.
have said it wrong the first time, so I apologize
Oh,
about
okay.
that.
How do I join keyboard group buy? Oh, that's different. Well,
It,
I haven't joined many
it's.
keyboard
I mean,
group
it's
buys.
still kind of similar though, right? Like the vendor
Yeah,
and/or the runner and/or the designer,
that's true.
how
Yeah.
well they carry themselves. You know, how if
Mm,
they're respected or if everyone hates them. If they have a history of issues or whatever, or maybe they just nail all their GBs and they are just amazing and they just can do no wrong. Then like, yeah, sign me up. Like, you gotta take
yeah.
into account some past actions and stuff like that as well. But I
Yeah.
feel like it's fairly similar. I mean,
Mhm.
and obviously protect yourself. Use PayPal goods and services, invoices, stuff that can bail you out if you have trouble.
Yeah.
Viperman GT2 asking, would Taeha rather open CS:GO cases or purchase keycap grab bags? Oh boy, this sounds like a good one.
Oh, I have never purchased a keycap grab bag. That sounds like a nightmare. Like, oh my goodness. Every time you go to a meetup, there's at least one or two people who sit at like the tub of keys trying to make a full set. I
Oh,
don't have,
every
I do
you're
not
right
have
too. Every
that.
time, every
Every
meetup,
meetup.
every meetup
And
that happens.
one or two people always come up with a full set somehow. I'm like, kudos to you, but
I don't
that's
got it.
not
Yeah.
for me.
I don't have that time.
Yeah.
Dog hair don't care is asking if you can drive manual. I'm not sure why that's
Uh-huh.
important, but there you go.
I know how to. I can't say I'm good, but I probably had the standard learning to drive manual with a Miata route that a lot of kids do my age growing up.
All right,
Yeah.
all right, fair enough.
I mean, I can drive it, but well, that's a different question.
All right, fair enough. Aguilar is asking, are you excited for any group buys next month? So, is there anything on your radar next month?
Next month.
Usually, when I get this question, the first thing I do is I open up the keyset doc and see what's running next month. Because there's always too many things I don't remember what's happening. Like I'm looking on here and like we're not even in April yet, and there's already like 15 confirmed group buy sets in April. So it's like,
Honestly, no. I haven't really been saving up for keyboard purchases lately. I'm still trying to buy more equipment. I'm trying to change my camera ecosystems from Sony to fully Canon, so I've been trying to
oh,
save up for
interesting,
that.
interesting,
Yeah.
very interesting. GMK Frostwitch rather is running next month.
Oh, Frost Switch, yeah.
I figured that one might be one you're interested in.
That might be, yes, definitely.
Yep, as well as Grain. Infinity Grain is running next month. Actually, in just a few days, on the 3rd of April. So.
Oh, Bushido's running next month too. Okay.
Bushido and Bleached. That I think that's the WS2 black on white GMK set. So that one's going to be pretty blinding. GMK Noel also opens in a few days. There's a lot of sets I'm actually interested in. I don't know what I'll actually buy because since I've been furloughed, I have to be a little bit more careful with my money.
Yeah, it's also too much. Like you have decision paralysis with how many
yeah. Like at best, I'm gonna have to pick one set to buy in April. Like that's my like best case outcome.
Yeah. And like I myself at one point, I think I had close to 40 keyboards, and I have sold off a lot of them, as I mentioned earlier on stream. It's so liberating not having to decide what keyboard to use next, and like keeping track of, oh, when did I last use this? Like, is this due for another reusing session? Like, it's so
Yeah.
liberating not having.
The cool thing about what you do as well, and I guess this also extends to other keyboard build streamers, but you get to try so much just because you
Yeah.
build so many keyboards that aren't yours that you also don't really need to own so many keyboards to try because
Yeah.
you get the chance to try so many setups to begin with. So like, you gain so much experience just by doing keyboard builds for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fluffy with another question. What is the best PBT keycap set? Like, what brand should I be looking out for?
PBT.
Yeah.
Depends on what you're looking for. If you like, I think in terms of quality of the keycap, probably CRP, but you're pretty limited in your color choices. If color is more of an option, maybe the folks over at Creative or I don't know. Well, there's a lot of options for color. I haven't tried all the PBT options out there currently.
Yeah,
So
there's quite a few these days as well. So I don't actually know what profile you're talking about here because obviously there are different profiles. But assuming we're defaulting to Cherry, you have Enjoy PBT, you have Infinikey, you have CRP, you have things that aren't still currently running like BSP, Insto. Key Creative, I'm pretty positive has a PBT Cherry profile option as well.
yeah, they do a lot of reverse dice subbing too.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things out there, and you know what? A lot of them are well under $100 for like an okay compatibility set even. So I don't think any of them are necessarily bad, and you should like avoid them. I think some of the CRP runs earlier have seen some stem issues, but the rest of the caps are great. Enjoy PBT, I feel like, is a good standby, but some of their homing keys can tap the tops of Cherry profile switches, so it's like, I feel like every single one of them has at least like one issue, but the rest of it is generally okay. So I don't know. Buy what you like to look at. I feel like buy what you can afford and what you like to look at. But of course, it doesn't hurt to ask around Discords and other places as well for opinions. But I think most people are probably going to agree on CRP being kind of like the de facto best PBT right now. Even though I still think they're not perfect either, but
yeah, they're still not perfect, but they're coming. They're improving. So
yeah, but if you don't have maybe as much money to spend, I think Enjoy PBT is a good alternative. You can get a lot of sets for around like even on the aftermarket for like $50, $60, $70 with reasonable compatibility. So just depends on where you look. Interestingly enough, the next question from Tommy Choo Choo says, "Why don't we see more ePBT sets?" I imagine. Well, you can. You're the guest. I want you to take the helm on that one.
I actually don't know why we don't have more ePBT sets. Like KBD fans is sold out on their ePBT sets. I think
it's fair.
They're also one of the few makers that have like Korean or Hunger sub legends on PBT sets, or even in general. There aren't many Hunger keycap sets out there. And there's a couple ePBT sets with Hunger sub legends. I actually don't know why.
Yeah,
but I guess
I feel like there are quite a few Enjoy PBT sets in the wild these days, and I think that like you can still find them at a lot of retailers, on Taobao, AliExpress, KBD fans, as well as other sources. So I think they're still out there, but I think maybe Enjoy PBT, if I had to take a guess, and I'm totally guessing here, they're probably working a little bit less on their PBT line right now and a little bit more on their double shot ABS line, which just came out fairly recently. Yeah. So I would assume that them branching into that has probably left them with less time to actually do in PBT work. Poke is asking why you have such bad taste in keycaps. Ouch. Here we go. This is what I was waiting to see. Novel Keys says, "Really? Let's trio with Nathan. Let's go, baby."
Ooh.
I'm down. I'm down for some gaming after this. I really am. I don't think I have you on BattleNet, Mike. We'll sort that out later. But yeah, I think that's gonna be where we cut it out for today. We went over our my soft limit quite a bit, but that's okay. I think I think having you on was probably worth it. So it's probably I'm just using you for viewers, honestly. Let's be real here. So this is going to be the point in the show where I just want to let you shill whatever you want for as long as you want, basically, and then I'll do it.
Shill?
Yeah, shill everything and anything.
Time I do my sponsor segment, please go to dixiemec.com/Taeha. I'm just kidding.
Brutal.
I'm Taeha Types on all the socials. I'm on all socials except TikTok and Snapchat
for now.
So yeah, follow me there if you guys liked what I had to say today.
Yes, I highly suggest you follow him on everything that you can, and definitely make sure you check out his Twitch channel and his YouTube channel, Taeha Types. He does fantastic content, arguably some of the best, if not the best, in the community. So, if you guys haven't seen him before, really do yourself the favor. Make sure you're subscribing and checking out his content because it is fan-freaking-tastic. And, of course, thank you so much, Nathan, for coming on the show. I know you're a busy man, so I appreciate you putting aside some time in your day for us here. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this as much as we enjoyed doing it for you. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Sorry, go ahead.
Is there a leak for the next guest? Who it is? Do you have someone?
I don't... Oh, wait, no, I do technically have the next guest confirmed. I lied. I do have a guest confirmed for next Friday. I will not leak it, though.
Ooh,
but
okay.
I think a lot of people will be interested in it. I think even you, Nathan, will be pretty interested in it. So it should be a pretty good time. But yes, no leaks. I'm going to keep it kind of a mystery, at least for right now, because I'm evil like
no
that.
hints?
I don't know. No hints. See, people were asking me for hints of who was going to be on the show today, but I wasn't telling anyone. So, I mean, like, what do I say that, like, doesn't give it away automatically for someone like you? And I feel like a lot of guests are kind of like that as well, because the idea is that they're high-profile people. So it's like, a lot of people kind of know a lot about a lot of these people already, so... I don't know. I'm not going to leak anything, so I apologize for that. You guys can hate me for that, but I think it's going to be a really good time. It's going to be very educational, I will say that.
So, all right, I tried chat.
No, you can't get me now. Sorry. All right, guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, make sure to check out next week's episode of Behind the Keyboard. We also do lots and lots and lots of other stream content that you can be caught up to date with if you join the Discord, which is linked below. We always post in our announcements channel before we go live and what we are doing. So that's going to be the best chance you have of catching some more Top Clack content. And yeah. Any closing thoughts, Nathan? Anything you want to end on?
End on? Ooh.
Give me a hot take.
A hot take?
Give me a hot take so I can end the stream on. Yeah.
What's the hot take?
Give me a topic to give a hot take on.
Whatever you were about to say.
I can't just think of a hot take off the top of my head. Oh, I think scooped homing keys are stupid. Bars all the way.
Nice. I think this is going to be the tradition. I'm going to have someone give a hot take, hopefully negative, at the end of the stream, and then we'll just end.
Nipples and bars over scooped.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
Alright, number one, the outro. Oh, they can hear us still because I forgot to unmute this. So
okay.
That won't be a thing going forward, but just a little extra fun for people. We love you.
All right.
All right.